All right, this video is for the lesson 7.8 homework. We're going to go through a lot of these together because there's just a lot of different rules with these, okay? Not tough rules, just a lot. I want you to see the examples worked. So, starting at the top. So we've got a kite. So what makes a kite is these two sides measure the same, and then these two sides measure the same, okay? So the difference between a kite and a rhombus is shaped the same way, but all four sides are the same. Okay, kite, you've got two pairs that match each other. So in this first one here, we're going to find the value of x and y. So here's my x, -7 plus 3x, and then it's going to match this side over here. So I can set those equal to each other. I can do -7 plus 3x equals 23. Okay. So let's start fresh here. So we can do menu 3-1. -7 plus 3x equals 23, comma x. X is going to be 10. Okay? Sides aren't hard on these. So you just have to remember where the pairs are. And then to find y, here's the y, so I can set these two pieces equal to each other. So y over 2 equals 10. And just do the same thing, menu 3-1. So y over 2 equals 10. I just have to do comma y this time. Okay, whatever letter you're solving for, that's what you put at the end. And then y is going to equal 20. So those aren't too bad. We're going to jump over to number 4. All right, diagonals. So the diagonals don't bisect each other, but let me see if I can't find my note page here. Yeah, the longer diagonal bisects the shorter diagonal. Okay, so like this is the long one. That means it's going to split the smaller diagonal perfectly in half. Okay, they're also perpendicular, meaning they form these right angles. Okay, so in this one we've got VT is 16, so that's all the way across, that's the shorter diagonal. OK, so from, shouldn't be O, I bet you it should be O to T. I bet you that's O to T. Nope, I think it's O to W, sorry. O to W is 7, and then we're looking for T to W. So we've got a right triangle here. So if V to T, if all the way across is 16, then halfway across, because remember the shorter one is cut perfectly in half, would be 8. We've got a right triangle. We can use Pythagorean theorem on this. Okay? So if this is the right angle, then the side that I'm looking for, that's my hypotenuse in this one. Okay, because it's opposite the right angle. So I can put my pieces in the places they go. So it doesn't matter on the A and B. 7 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. So this part I can work. 7 squared plus 8 squared is going to be 113. And then what's my final step there to find that missing side? Square root. Yep. So the square root of 113 equals C. Always check it. Type it in first because you do get lucky. Sometimes they make nice and neat numbers. This one doesn't. Also, 113 we can't break down. 113 is prime. There's nothing that we can divide into it. So that's my answer. Okay, that's the radical and simplest form. I'm going to get the next one set up for you, but you're going to solve it. This one is a nice, pretty answer. Okay, so here OL is 5 feet, so O to L, this is 5 feet. O to K, yeah, that's what happened. It just didn't get switched. O to K is 12 feet. And it wants to know what KN is. That's this piece. Okay. So here's the right triangle. This side is 12. But again, this is the little diagonal. that one gets split perfectly. So if this side is 5, then this side is 5. Once again, you're looking for the C, and you can use Pythagorean theorem, but you're going to get a nice, pretty answer on that one. Okay? My phone is stabbing me. Okay. More of these. So number 5, VS, so from V to S is 41. O to S is 40. And then O to T is this 3x, and I know it's small, 3x plus 6. So I've got a right triangle again, okay? If V to T is 41, or V to S is 41, then S to T is 41. So there's my right triangle. Before I do anything, I know this side is the 3x plus 6, but I want to find what its actual value is. Okay? So we're just looking for this side here before we do anything else. If you need to draw it separately so you can see the triangle, that's okay. So here's that triangle. This is 40. This is 41. This is the side that I'm looking for. Okay? Which means this is an A, this is a B, this is a C. So remember, wherever the right angle is, put a dot in the other two corners. The length between that two corners is always the C. So I can do Pythagorean on this. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So we're finding a leg. We're not finding a hypotenuse here. So we're going to break it down first. Each of the pieces I want to simplify. So do 40 squared and then do 41 squared. All right. In my process to find what B equals, what do I need to do first once I break it down? So I'm going to subtract the 1600 from both sides. Oh, sorry. So that's going to cancel. So 1681 minus 1600. And then what's the last step? Square root. Now, when you square root 81, you get 9. Okay, so B equals 9. That's what I need. Because that's equal to this piece. That's what 3x plus 6 is equal to. So we know this side here measures 9, but we also know it measures this, and we're trying to solve for x. So we can set those equal to each other. And that's my answer. X equals 1. So again, kind of a process. You've got several steps that you have to go through in order to solve those. So let's do another one like that. All right, OF is 14. And then F to H, that's the whole length of this, is negative x plus 20. So FH, this line right here, is that the long diagonal or is that the short diagonal? F to H is the long diagonal? Short. Okay, so if it's the short diagonal, if this side is 14, then this side is 14. What's the total length from F to H? Be 28. 14 plus 14. So FH equals this, but FH also equals 28. So if I've got two things that it's equal to, I can set those equal to each other. So negative x plus 20 equals 28, comma x, and x is negative 8. Okay, angles now. All right, the angles in a kite. So we talked about the long and the short diagonal. The short, so across the short length, right? Those two angles are going to be the same. So if this one is 131, then this one is going to be 131. Okay, so across the short diagonal, those two angles are going to be the same. All four angles in that kite, what would they add up to? How many corners are there? How many corners does a kite have? How many sides does a kite have?
4.
4. So 180 times 4 minus 1, which is times 3. Oh, that's not right.
Where did the 1 come from?
I don't know.
But it's like -2.
It is -2. I'm sorry. So, any quadrilateral, any four-sided shape.
Students.
Okay. Every quadrilateral, if it's got 4 sides, all 4 angles add up to 360. So I've used 131 and I've used 131. So I'm going to do 360 minus 131 minus 131. I've got 98 degrees left, which means x plus v have to add up to make 98. X and v aren't going to be the same. Okay, so I can't just do 98 divided by 2 and figure out what those two are equal to. Okay, those two are going to measure different. It's only across that short diagonal. But if I know x plus v have to add up to 98, and I know x is this and v is this, then I can plug these values in here. So I could do x plus 21 plus x minus 5 equals 98. And I can solve for x now. Or little x, the value of x. All right, so x is going to equal 41. And then this asks me, what's the measure of angle x? So I can take this value and I can plug it into angle x's expression. 41 plus 21 is 62. Which means the little one is going to measure 36. 36 plus 62. Okay, so you usually can work around and kind of check your work and find what you're doing. All right, on number 8, they give me M and K. M and K. So if I connect those, if I draw that diagonal in there, is that the long or the short diagonal? That's the short one, which means M equals K. I can take this and I can set it equal to that. This one's the value of M. Take whatever your x value is, plug it in there for M. Okay. Diagonal angles. Connect the dots. Whatever letter is in the middle is where you're talking about, right? ABD, ABD, that's this piece here. DAC, D to A to C, that's this piece here. Okay. Short diagonal, right? Meaning if this piece here is negative 3x, then this piece here on the opposite side of that diagonal is negative 3x. And then we know this one here, I'm just going to draw an arrow this way, is 6 minus x. These diagonals are perpendicular. So you got that nice, pretty right angle there. What we're dealing with when we're doing the diagonal angles is a triangle every time. If I have some kind of representation for all 3 angles, add them up, set them equal to 180. So my first angle is negative 3x. My second angle is 6 minus x. My third angle is 90. And I can set it equal to 180. And then this wants me to find the measure of ADB. A to D to B. That's this one right here. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to plug it in there for that x. So -3 times -21 gives me 63. We're getting to the point in geometry where you're going to use all these rules that we've learned this year. They're all going to really start circling back, okay? All right, last one. 10. All right. TUS. T to U to S. That's this piece. Is 29 minus 2x. TSU. T to S to U. That's this piece. Is 32 minus x. Is this a short diagonal or a long diagonal? Short, which means this piece is going to equal that piece. So 29 minus 2x equals 32 minus x. So my x value is -3. Then this says, what's the measure of, ew, that's not right. Let's plug it in. Let's see what happens when we plug it into one of these. Let's just plug it into that top one. 29 minus 2 times -3. Yep, that's what it wanted. It just wanted you to plug it back in. All right, so I did not leave you very many on this page, and I got them set up pretty good for you. So you've got 3 questions. You've got 2, 3, and 8. Let me zoom out a little bit on this where you can kind of see everything. And get this to focus. And then I do have the quiz ready. It's quiz 4, and it's going to be over what we did yesterday, which was the trapezoids, and then over the kites. And I will get that open up for you. That one won't be due until end of class tomorrow, but again, I'm trying to give you a little bit of extra time. So if you want to start it today, I'd start it today.